Hello students, and welcome to the final video of section 3.3, where we're wrapping up the chain rule and how it's getting applied. In this video, we're going to actually look at how it gets applied when we're given graphs or we're given tables. So let's jump right into it. All right, so here we're given the graph of h of x, and that's this graph that's right above me. We want to find the equation, so let me actually underline that, because anytime it says something about tangent lines or stuff, I'm always going to outline, is it the equation or is it just the slope? And so p of x is right here, that's what we're going to need where x equals -4. So actually, let's find that point of tangency. So what is my point of tangency? So I'm going to find p of -4. And that's going to be the square root of h of -4. All right, so h of -4, remember, this is h right here, so -4 is going to be +4. So I'm going to get the square root of 4, which is 2. So that's my point of tangency. And now we need to find the slope of the tangent line. So as we're doing that, I want to keep in mind that this is really just h of x to the +1/2. All right, so as I'm going to the slope of the tangent line, let's see, slope of the tangent line here, bring the 1/2 down, okay? Hold on to h of x and subtract 1, multiply by the derivative of h of x, which is h prime of x. And so now what I want to do is I want to get what is p prime of -4. So p prime of -4, that's going to be 1/2 square root of h of 4 times h prime of 4. All right, so let's start just working all of this out. All right, so 1/2 square root of h of 4. So h of 4 we just found was 4. So square root of 4 is 2 times h prime of 4. So let's find this slope. So down 1/2. So that's going to be times -1/2. Okay, so I get 1/4 times -1/2, which is -1/8. And that's my slope of the tangent line. So now I just need to write out my equation. So y minus 2, because I found my point of tangency, times the slope of -1/8 of x minus -4 or x plus 4. And that is going to be the slope or the equation of the tangent line for p of x, right? We have no idea what p of x looks like without, taking all this information and putting it together. But, we can put that information, we can make and connect these dots because we're able to actually work with that chain rule in this situation. And now we've got all these tabular problems to look at. So we have f and g, which are differentiable functions, okay? And we want to see, okay, is this increasing, decreasing, maximum, minimum? We want to know what is happening, okay? So if I want to find h prime of x, right, we need to do that first. And we're going to look at this one, x equals 3. So I'm going to go f prime of g of x times g prime of x. And so h prime of 3, and that's going to be able to tell us whether it's increasing, decreasing based off of whether this derivative is positive or negative. All right, so f prime is going to be, so f prime of g of 3 times g prime of 3. And this is where using these tables gets a lot of fun. So let's find g of 3 real quick. So that's going to be 4. So really I want f prime of 4. And then g prime of 3, that's going to be 6. So times 6. All right, so what is f prime of 4 now? Well, that's 8. So I get 8 times 6, which is 48. So what does this say? Well, we can say that h of x is increasing at x equals 3, because that's the point we're finding at. And the reason we know this is because h prime of 3 is positive, is greater than 0. That's the reason why we know that. All right, and now we're going to jump into our second problem here, where we want to find what is the value of p prime of 1. Okay, so let's find p prime of x real quick. And then that's going to be the derivative of the outside, so g prime of, hold on to the inside, times the derivative of the inner part, so times 2. All right, so now I want to find p prime of 1, so that's going to be g prime of 2 times 1 times 2. That's it. Okay, so really I want g prime of 2 times 2. So let's figure out what is g prime of 2. So I'm looking at g prime again, and 2 is going to be right there. So that's value is -1. So I get -1 times 2, which is -2. So a lot of like, okay, you bounce around, you jump here, you look there, and you just keep track of all that stuff in your head. If you need to write any of these things down, then just go ahead and write those down off to the side. Anything to get you through these problems quickly. Now we've got one problem remaining in this lesson. So we're going to jump over here where we're going to do q of x is the square root of f of x plus g of x. We want to find what is the value of q prime of 4. And then we'll say again, is it increasing, decreasing, or whatnot. All right, so we are going to need to use a chain rule here. So just keep in mind that this is f of x plus g of x all to the power of 1/2. Okay, so when I find q prime of x here, that's going to be 1/2. Hold on to the inside, so f of x plus g of x to the -1/2 because we subtract 1. And we're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is f prime plus g prime. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this just a little bit. Okay, so that's going to be 1/2 square root of f plus g times f prime of x plus g prime of x, right? I'm not gonna smush it all together, right? I'm just not worried too much about it because it's more about, can I apply this at 4? Okay, so I'm gonna get 1/2 square root of f of 4 plus g of 4 times f prime of 4 plus g prime of 4. Okay, we'll figure that out. All right, so as you're going through this, check with your table. I then want to get 1/2 square root of f of 4 is 1 and g of 4 is 7, okay, times f prime of 4 is 8 and g prime of 4 is -2, so -2. All right, and so it looks like this. I get 8 minus 2 is 6. 6/2 is 3 over the square root of 8. So 3 over the square root of 8. And I'm not going to do anything else there. I could rationalize, but it doesn't matter. That is the answer, okay? I don't really need to simplify any more from this. In fact, if you really didn't want to on the AP exam, you wouldn't even need to simplify from that point, okay? But moving forward, we want to say, what does this value say about the graph, okay? Well, think about, is this positive or negative? And you're looking at it, oh, right, it's got a square root. I'm not positive about square roots. But the numerator is positive. The denominator is positive, which means the entire thing is positive. So what does that say, right? So now we can say q of x is increasing at x equals 4 because q prime of 4 is greater than 0. We don't know the exact value, but we do know it is positive. We do know it's greater than 0. Okay? And that's going to be really important, right? Now that you're able to practice this, you do have a quiz now over those 3 rules. I want to make sure that you guys actually know what's coming up, okay? So make sure you practice this, go through your homework problems, really get those down. And of course, if you guys do have any questions, if you do need any help, make sure you reach out to me. I'm Mr. Hernandez, and this was Mr. Hernandez Teaches.